Hi, I'm Tom Stephenson and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a professor of construction management and this channel has tons of videos on construction management and construction. Today we're going to be looking at how to read construction drawings. This is part of a series based on my textbook, which is in its 5th edition right now. And right today we're going to be looking at how to read floor plans. In the previous video we looked at how to look at and read and interpret elevation drawings. So hopefully by the end of today you'll have a good understanding of some key points. One of the things I'm going to really emphasize is how to visualize things when you're looking at a new set of drawings. So it doesn't matter how much experience you have, it takes time to orient yourself to a new set of construction drawings. And what I think is one of the best practices is to pretend like you're looking at the finished building. When you're looking at the drawings, you're actually imagining exactly what this building will look like. There's this old saying that says that the map is not the territory, right? And there's a lot of truth to that. And I know we have 3D models that can help us to visualize things. But the truth of the matter is, the closer you get to visualizing and understanding what the finished product is, the better you'll be able to construct it. I hope you'll enjoy this series. If you do, please click subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps the channel out. But let's get started. So in the previous video, I kind of looked at the elevation drawings. And what I did was we walked around the outside of one of the construction drawings that I have in my textbook called the Doncaster model. And we looked at all of the different sides. We looked at the drawings and what did they actually show. Today, I want to look at the actual floor plan for the model house, the Doncaster. Now this is the sales center drawing, but we'll overlay the actual construction drawings. This is basically the floor plan with all the information stripped out of it. And so what I did was I took pictures of the actual finished house inside at different locations. And so what I want you to imagine is like you're walking through the front door and you're in position 1, and this is what you see, right? So you're kind of looking over here and you see this shelf unit here. Now, you wouldn't necessarily know about the glass and the glass shelves and the mirrors and all of that kind of stuff in it. There would be a set of shop drawings for whatever that cabinet, whoever's manufacturing that cabinet that's going to slide in there would have. But you should have a good idea that that would be a shelf unit. So you're kind of looking at that, oh, what's that? That looks like it might be shelves. Because I see the closet over here. So this is where everybody put their coats and stuff when they come in the door. Through here, okay, this is what we call PR. Okay, well, we're going to, in the next coming videos, we're going to look at abbreviations, hatching, symbols. And in this particular case, PR means powder room, which is essentially a bathroom without a bath. So you've got a toilet and you've got a sink, all right? And it looks like it's a pedestal sink and you've got a toilet here. And you can see the toilet that's sticking out. The pedestal sink, you can kind of see the shadow on the floor for it there. And okay, so that's where the bathroom is. Great. And so now, this is the actual floor plan. Now you see there's a lot of stuff on the actual floor plan. So, you know, we walked in the door and you see a lot of writing. Now in construction drawings, we try to minimize as much information as possible, like as far as writing things and, you know, we don't want to have big long sentences and things like that. So we have a lot of abbreviations and things that we put in things. Like it says FIN CLG, which is finished ceiling, right? And then it's got AFF, that's above finished floor. So that's basically giving you a size above the finished floor. I'm kind of looking, standing at this point, right? Looking through. It's got like a symbol here. That's actually for a fan. It's got like a little line that goes to a switch. We'll look at that kind of stuff in another video. But you get a good sense of what is going on when you look at it, but you're thinking about it more cleanly. Right? More cleanly, like what are these finished walls going to be? It's the same thing. It's just basically without all the extra information. Now you need that extra information so you can effectively build from it. All right? So now I'm in position 2 and I'm looking down and I should be able to see right down through to the end. I can see the sliding door through there. I can see the closet door to the right. Right? So I see a clear shot right down through the entire floor plan. And so the same thing goes over here. And I'm noticing that the ceiling is smooth. Now, let's take a little bit of a look over here. So let's take a look. This is our drawing. So I'm really in position 2 here. I'm looking straight down. I can see the doors through, but I see a bunch of stuff here. Like it says 338 by 184. Well, that's metric. If you're imperial, it'd be 3 2x8s. 3 2x8s, which are 1.5 by about 7 1/8 inches. Okay, and so it says SP number 2, that's the grade. So if I look straight through there, there's a beam there. There's another beam here. And we'll talk about that when we unpack how to frame and how that's shown on the drawings. But basically, that's telling me that those are going to be flush because it says flush. That means you're not going to see them when you're done. Now over here, it's got an abbreviation that says FA, and then it's got this little L5 here. Well, there's a schedule in the drawings that you would look up L5. It's a table, basically, and L5 stands for lintel. Lintel, if you're US, they call it a header. Even Canada, we tend to call it a header on site. In Canada, the proper name is lintel because our building code refers to it. But regardless, you would have to look at the lintel table and it would tell you the size. And if you actually look this one up, it'd be 2 2x12s going across because it's carrying the joist. But a flat arch is different than flush. What that means is it's going to be like a doorway opening. It's going to drop down just like a doorway opening. So that's telling you different information. So you're trying to visual. When I'm looking at something like this, I'm visualizing this. Okay, flush, clear ceiling, clean. I'm thinking about, okay, closet on the right. Okay, this is a right-hand door. If you're standing in the doorway with your back to the hinges, your right arm is on the right side, so that would be a right-hand door. If I'm standing with my back to the hinges here, my left arm is on this side, so that's a left-hand door. Easy, clean way of telling the swing of the doors. All right, so here I am at the base of the stairs. I'm in position 3, looking up the stairs. I can see a bullnose on the bottom of the stairs. I see like the stairs kind of transitions a little bit. And if I'm looking at this, I can see that this part here would be an open stringer. This would be a closed stringer. So I can kind of see this part is open, right? And then I can see over here that we have basically a doorway. It looks like a left-hand door here. And I can see down, and it looks like it drops down. It says DN, down, right? So that's telling me it drops down. So this must be sunken a little bit, laundry area. And that's not unusual when you've got an entrance to a garage. You're always trying to make the floor to the garage floor, like the house floor to the garage floor, be less steps because you don't want to put a big staircase inside the garage, then you can't fit the second car in. So that's very common where you'll see that. Not always, but it's very common. And I'm looking here and I can see that flat arch over here, and this is just a regular drop down for the door. Okay, great. There's the drawings. What do the drawings look like? More information, a lot of information in here. And I got a close-up of that coming up in a bit. Basically, it says up 14R. Well, that means we're going to go up 14 risers. That's the vertical component of the stairs. Up 14 risers. It says DN2R. So it's giving us more information than this did because we need to construct it. So 2 risers, it's going to be 1 tread, 2 risers. You always have 1 less tread than risers. That's just the way it works. And right, so we'll take a look at the next one. Here we are, number 4. Okay, so I can see, I'm looking back here, I can see the powder room area. That's the other side of where the shelves were that we originally were looking. So I'm imagining that. I can see this angled part here. So there's this angled part of the wall here. I can see the window over here. And we're got a good sort of perspective of the dining area. Family room. The family room. Now I'm in position 5 up here, and I'm looking in this direction. So you'll notice that probably when you look at our drawings, you'll notice that there will be a couple of extra windows here. Let's see. Oh, I didn't put that in. But if you look at the actual drawings, there's an extra couple of windows in my drawings because the drawings we used for the book, it's actually going on a site plan that had like a pie-shaped lot. And so you could have a lot more windows on this side of the house. And you had a lot better views as well because it's a nice ravine back there. So they added a couple of windows on that one. But this is pretty much exactly the way this is showing here on this particular drawing. Here we are with the kitchen. All right, so I'm in position 6 and you sort of see the layout where the fridge is, where the stove, where the sink, the dishwasher. There's another window here, sliding door. You can see off to the right, looking through. So from position 6, you could see down through there, the stairs. You can actually see the washer and dryer in through that little slot there. Good shot of the kitchen here, a little bit more close up. Again, looking at the cabinetry. Now, there would be a set of shop drawings for these cabinets. So while you see on the construction drawings this kitchen layout, you really have to closely then refer to the shop drawings from the kitchen manufacturer. I refer to this later in the textbook, but basically the manufacturer will do adjustments based on, well, if this is a production builder, based on what the production builder offers as options to the purchaser. If it's a custom home, that person would basically go to whoever's the home is for, would go to the kitchen manufacturer, make a whole bunch of selections, and they might deviate from this at the end of the day. So this might not be exactly the way it is at the end of the day. So you really have to look at the actual shop drawings from the kitchen manufacturer in case there are any deviations from that perspective. And if there are, that could obviously affect your electrical layouts, things like that. So you want to make sure that that's all in proper alignment. In this production builder, they didn't really deviate very much other than the type of doors. And basically, in this case, it's kind of going up and down a little bit with the tops of the cabinets. But other than that, things are pretty much where they said: micro shelf, refrigerator, stove, etc. You can see over here it does say stove hood fan vented to the exterior. So you're looking for these types of symbols and leader lines and explanations that come in to explain key little points on the drawings. Here is just for the fireplace. We're in position 8. Taking a look at the fireplace. Fireplace has basically got a direct vent gas, and so that just means it vents directly through the wall, and it's a gas fireplace. So you don't need a chimney for this type of fireplace, not a wood burning type fireplace. All right. And then we're on the second floor. So I'm at the second floor, and I'm basically on the second floor. I'm basically over here in the bathroom, and I'm looking this way. And you notice there's nothing here, but there is there. This is a model home. So in the model home, they put a closet across there. So there's a closet that goes across there. It was a little extra. So there's always options and extras that may come in as well. And depending on the production builder, like if they're building a lot of houses, they'll have different setups for what the different options may be. But on this drawings here, it's just showing no closet, so you're good. Looking straight through, you can see the sink on the left. Pretty much where I'm standing taking the picture, you can see the start of the tile for the bathtub. That would be that little wall there. Here's the master bedroom. I'm in position 10. I'm looking back here. You can see basically the ensuite bathroom, the walk-in closet, a lot fancy French provincial molding in this particular Napoleonic, I guess, bedroom. Looking from position 11, I can see the window on the side. I'm walking through the house. Just imagine yourself walking through the house, trying to visualize everything. I'm inside the ensuite. I'm taking a look. This would be a left-hand door, swinging door. I can see the cabinet basically with the oval tub. If this oval tub had a whirlpool, I'd make sure that the pump is in here and there's a cutout in the side and that you could access the pump through the side of the cabinet. That sort of thing. You try to work those details out. Here, basically, you can sort of see the actual drawing pretty clearly. This is showing an outlet, and it's got a number there, 1070. Well, that's how far to put the outlet off the floor so it's above the counter. Instead, it might say 3 foot. -0 inches if it was an imperial, right? So I'm just looking at through here. You got the switch, you got basically the toilet off to the left. I don't see that in the picture, but I'm imagining it there. And then I'm standing pretty much at the bottom right here. There you see the toilet. There's this part wall here, and there will be a glass enclosure looking through here afterwards. So this is basically for the ensuite bathroom. Now I'm back downstairs. I'm in position 14. I'm looking down the stairs, and basically that washer and dryer. And just off to the right is the optional door. Well, in this case, they chose it. So there's actually a door to the garage here, right? And so basically looking up from the basement, I can see the door to the garage off to the right. And so that's in that position. So in that one little spot, you know, like if I do a close-up of that one little spot, there's a lot of information there, right? Down to our dryer, washer, I've got basically a fan here. Okay, so, and that's on a switch. I got S3. S3 stands for three-way switch. Means I can operate the switch here and I can operate the switch there, right? Regular switch, it'll just say S, like it'll just say S for switch, and usually has the line going through that's just the wire indicating where it's going to or where it's going from. Then it's got three-way optional. Well, if I get the door, I want to be able to turn the light on the garage, open the garage door, walk out the front garage door and shut the light off, and then shut the door. So those kind of things are typical in your drawings. Up 14 risers, right? DJ is referring to double joists. When I'm looking at a floor plan, I'm always looking at the joists above. If it says the joists on the floor plan, if I'm on the first floor plan and it says if it says 2x8s, all right, at 16 inches on center, well, it's talking about above. It's not talking about below. Even though I'm on the first floor plan, it's not talking about the first floor joist. It's talking about the second floor joist. When I'm in the basement, it's talking about the first floor joist. When I'm on the second floor, it's talking about the ceiling joists or the roof trusses. So that's kind of the logic. If you ever forget that, just start in the basement and work your way up. So we've got a cut through here. It gives you a little bit this is from the BIM model, right? So you got a 3D kind of view of what's going on, right? So you come in the door, there's this half wall, there's that cabinetry there, etc. The kitchen layout more or less. The second floor with the oval, the walk-in closet, the master bedroom. You can see the other 3 bedrooms along here, right? You notice that this sticks out over here. So that's that part that sticks out. So the first floor is bigger than the first floor footprint is bigger than the second floor on this particular house. All right, just got a model house. It's not the Doncaster one there, but just showing you a custom home. So that's basically the aspects of visualization. Really, like every time you get a set of drawings, imagine you're walking around the building. Imagine you're walking through the building. I don't care if it's a condo development, a house, a data center. I'm always looking at things that way. Like I've got to be able to visualize what I'm looking at. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Tom Stephenson. Click likes, comments, and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. It helps me keep the channel going, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.